But ask the animals, and they will teach you, or the birds in the sky, and they will tell you, or speak to the earth, and it will teach you, or let the fish in the sea inform you. Which of all these does not know that the hand of the Lord has done this? In his hand is the life of every creature and the breath of all mankind. Job 12:7-10. All right, everybody. So we're out in my Mama Warner's garden, and she's going to tell you guys about some things that she wants to talk about today. So follow along.
So glad you could come today. Are you ready to learn how to make chamomile tea? We're going to use some of our honey that we harvested here and some of the beautiful chamomile that God has given us. Hi. So today we're going to teach you how to plant and grow chamomile for your chamomile tea. It's a really nice tea. This little herb you can grow in your garden really easily. Add a little bit of honey to it, and it's a delicious tea. It's very calming and soothing. And I'll show you how to plant it. I'll show you what a seedling looks like, and then I'll show you how to harvest and make the tea. Chamomile can also be used with calendula, or some people call it calendula. It's really pretty orange flower, and they add a lot more honey to it, and then you can make your own mead. Are you ready? I just want to show you that chamomile comes in this little packet from Burpee. You can get any type of seed brand. I don't endorse any seed brands, but I do like Burpee. They're pretty inexpensive at Menards, and it's one of my go-to shops. So about a week ago, I planted this chamomile in my garden. Due to some time constraints and health issues earlier this year, we weren't able to get our garden planted in the way that we typically would, but it's okay. We did what we could when we could, and we used every little bit of space that we could. So here's how to plant some chamomile in your garden. It's really easily. So I just come down here and kind of scratch the surface. Always use really good soil, because then you're going to get really good results. And then we're just going to sprinkle the chamomile seeds all around. And then I'll just very gently cover those up with some soil and just pat them down. And here you can see a few actually, chamomile seedlings. So some are small, some are a little bit bigger. Once it gets started, it really goes quickly. So keep an eye on it so you know when to harvest for tea. Okay, I'm going to show you how to harvest your chamomile, and it really couldn't be easier. Bear with me. We are in the midst of a milkweed jungle, but because we were behind on our gardening, they're going to grow where they grow this year. They're very beneficial to monarchs and swallowtails and lots of other bugs and pollinators, including honeybees. So we're just going to work around the milkweed. And the important thing when harvesting the chamomile is you can see where some of them have already lost their petals. You want to get the chamomile flowers that have the full petal and the petal is out. So I'm just going to snip it off, and then you can see that the petals are out instead of laying down against the stem. And we're just going to cut off as much of the stem as possible. I'll go ahead and get as many as I can really quickly. Here's a good example of one that the petals are all the way down, as you can see here. So really past its prime. You probably could still use it if you wanted to. And the really cool thing about the chamomile tea, you really don't need that many flowers. And you can put the stems in your tea if you wanted to. I want to note that this is all organics. You still might want to wash things off just to get any dirt and debris or bugs out of your products. So we're going to go make our tea. Okay, so I was luckily in the Dark County area yesterday, and we stopped at Bear's Mill. And it's so beautiful in there, but they've revamped it, and they've got shops in there where people are selling all their homemade gifts. And I got really lucky to find this tea strainer, and it's a mason jar lid, a wide mouth mason jar. And then you actually can put your tea products in here. So I thought it'd be great for all the herbs, and then the dried raspberries for raspberry tea.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Awesome. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and I've steeped some hot water. And then we're just going to throw in a few of these chamomile heads. And I'm just going to do about 6 of them. You can do as many as you want. They're really strong. And if you smell them, they're kind of almost a fruity scent. So, really looking forward to that.
And Mom, this tea you're making, what is it good for?
It's for calming and relaxation. And if you just like to use any of your herbs or your flowers for your own homemade tea. All right. So we're going to go ahead and just put in a little bit of honey into our chamomile tea dispenser.
Do you know what time of year you harvested this honey? Like what
We
would have been in the pollen?
Yeah, we harvested this honey in the fall, so it's going to be a lot of your goldenrod species here in Ohio. It's going to be a lot of your asters here in Ohio, and then it's also going to be some late pollinator species like partridge pea, prairie tick seed, coreopsis, coneflowers, boneset, and snake root. Lots of those kind of flowers in the fall. That was a good question. Now we're going to add our hot water. And then we can just go ahead and here, I don't know if you can see it, but we do have our chamomile and they're already starting to break down upon the impact of that hot water. I wish you could smell on TV. Can you smell it?
Oh yeah, it smells delicious.
It's a citrusy, savory type of scent, and then the honey with it. So we're just going to add the lid and let this steep for about 5 minutes. So Garrett, if you had extra chamomile, it's really easy to dry and use later. All you need to do is put some paper towels down on a counter or an extra table that you have out of the sunlight. And then it may take about 10 to 14 days, but they'll dry completely. And then you can still reuse those for chamomile tea on other days or even in the winter. So I think we're ready for our tea.
All right.
You're ready?
Yeah.
So we'll go ahead and take this little gadget off. Oh yeah, it's really nice looking. And then you can see that gorgeous color from a little touch of honey and also from the chamomile flowers.
All right, let's give it a sip.
It's really good. You can taste the floral scents from the chamomile.
Yep.
And then you also get that rich taste of that, nothing like it, honey straight out of the hive. Nothing added, nothing taken away. That's really good.
Delicious. Well, thanks for teaching me how to make chamomile tea. That's awesome.
You're welcome.
Hopefully you guys can do something with that. If you're planting chamomile, and you could reap the benefits from drinking this tea. So
yeah. Okay. Today we're going to try to teach you and myself and my son how to make kind of a morel soup. And the goal or the point of the morel soup is just to get some morel started so that they're easier to find. Sometimes they're hard to find if you don't have a lot of woods or you don't have any woods to go into, or they're not just out in your backyard near some fruit trees or that kind of thing. So that's what our hope is today. I've got a few seasons of morels left over, some dried and some just forgotten about in the fridge. Unfortunately, I hate to say that because nobody wants to waste a morel. They're like gold. But we're going to make up a slurry, and then we're going to go mix it up with some wood ash, and we'll take you a long way. So here we are in the garden, our last step before we kind of plant our morel mushrooms. We're going to add some wood ash. And we have a pile out here from our fireplace. So we're just going to go ahead and add it in and stir it up. If you've got wood ash from your campfire ring or whatever, that would be fine too. And now we're just going to give the ash in our mixture, our morel mushroom slurry, a quick stir. So here we are at our last step for planting our morel mushrooms. So excited. I will definitely be checking back in the spring to see if anything is popping up. It could take up to 5 years, but hopeful we did everything right and we're going to see morels next year. So what we're going to do is just give it another quick stir, and then we're going to pour it out on the ground. We've chosen an old camp, and it gets sun, it gets shade, and it's very easy, accessible to check. And we're just going to pour the slurry out. And I'm just going to take my trowel and kind of spread it around. Well, it's been a lot of fun today hanging out with my sweet son and doing some things outside, especially with the hopes of finding morels in the future. And then, of course, the soothing, digestive helping chamomile tea with honey that we harvested here. And I hope you all enjoyed it.